Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of GSA's Magical Moments. I'm Miss Linda. I'm super excited to be here again with you today. I hope you've been enjoying all the magical moments this week. We're continuing to talk about spring and all the fun stuff that goes along with spring, and I know there's lots of activities that have been going on all week with butterflies and science experiments. Good morning, Miss Andrea and Tommy and Olivia. Hi, Miss Erica. Did you say hi? I don't know if they can see you. She's too short. So we're going to continue talking about spring this week. We're going to read a story that's called Growing Like Me. But before we read it, thanks to Miss Andrea, because her name is in this book. Before we read it, I just wanted to talk about the ways that you grow. So although spring makes us think, although you grow all year long, because you're constantly growing, spring is a time that makes us think of growth and regrowth or new growth. So when you think about spring, I know I think about baby animals being born and buds budding on trees to turn into flowers and plants growing and insects growing and caterpillars becoming butterflies. So there are things that I think about, and that's growing. So yes, you do grow all year long, and I want you to think about what you need to grow all year long, because it's very important that you get the right things that you need, which is healthy food, so fruits and veggies, and protein like meats, and carbohydrates so you can grow, and lots of water. And so we're gonna, one thing before we read the book also is do an observation. So last week we planted seeds. So they're growing, they're starting to grow. Hopefully yours are starting to grow. And an observation I know Miss Melissa talked about before. You're shaking the table. Here, sit back. You're shaking the table. An observation is something that you do over time. So you observe something, you look at it, and you can look to see how it changes. So that's what I want you guys to do every week with the plants or the seeds that you planted last week. So we did that here, and I want to show you, or unless Vivi wants to show you.
I don't want to.
You don't want to?
I do.
All right, so sit up here, stand up. You have to stand so they can see you. Her observation, she did week 1.
Nothing happened.
So week 1, she drew a picture, and you can have adults help you at home. And if you can't write, that's okay. You can just draw what it looks like. So week 1, there was nothing, but she labeled it. Nothing happened. Week 2,
a little sprout started to grow.
A little sprout started to grow. So already we have a little sprout. So if you can keep track of your plants that you planted so we can see how they are growing and send some pictures. Hi, Grace and AJ. Hi, Adrian. Hi, boys. And you can label it. You can just color it. You don't have to write anything. But I want to see what your plants are going to look like too. So that's our observation for this week. And I can try to show you here.
We have another little sprout today.
We have, I can't tell if you can see, but right here is a little tiny sprout that sprouted up. So it's growing. And another one today we noticed that sprouted back there.
When we were watering them today.
Yes, so everything is growing just like you. Okay, so we're going to read this story, Growing Like Me. And I want you to think while we're reading the story of all the different things that we see in this book. So there's lots of different animals, and they make me think of spring, and it kind of takes us all over. So Growing Like Me by Anne Rockwell, and it was illustrated by Holly Keller. Growing Like Me. Here in the meadow, by the woods and the pond, so this is in a meadow. Can you see the pond? I see some ducks, or patos in Spanish. And I see something over here, if you can take a guess what those feet belong to. It's something that swims. Everything is growing just like me. So what was that swimming upside down? Do you see? It's a frog. Or a rana. Rana in Spanish. And the boy's playing with the frog. white blossoms will grow into berries, black and juicy and sweet. So there's blackberries. But this is this boy's plant, so we have to make sure we don't eat anything off of plants that we find outside, because it's dangerous, because we don't know what it is. So this is his plant that he grew, so he knows it's safe. Oh, what do we see here? Blue eggs, safe and warm in their nest. What are they gonna hatch to be? Do you know? They're blue. What do you think they're gonna be? Yes, they're robins. Will hatch into robins that sing in the grass. So there's a baby robin, and I see robins all over where I live. We see them every day. And in Spanish, bird is pájaro. Pájaro. And here we see, what is this? A caterpillar munching milkweed. And I bet you know what a caterpillar turns into after he eats and eats and eats. Oops. Will become a tiger-colored butterfly fluttering through the sky. A mariposa. Little black pollywogs wiggling in the water. Do you know what they turn into be when they grow? Will turn into big green frogs calling from the pond. Look how big they get. They lose their tail, they grow their feet, and they're frogs, or ranas. Downy, cheepy ducklings. Hi, Grandma Kim. Little patos, patitos. They're nice and soft and yellow. Will grow up to be wild ducks, quacking through cattails and flying away. And there they go. A speckled cloud with a fish standing guard. What do you think that could be? What do you think? The fish is standing guard protecting? Yeah, the eggs. For babies. Will soon be lots of shining silver swish swimming around on the pond. There they are. Little acorn lying on fallen leaves. What does an acorn grow to be? You remember? Look at that. Sprout and spread roots. Stretch your green leaves up to the sky. Grow into a tall oak tree. Look how tall that tree is. That little acorn grew into that big tree, just the way you're going to grow into big boys and girls. Little baby brother, what in the world will you grow up to be? You'll see. One day you'll be a big boy, just like me. So all the different animals in this book are growing just like you, and they change and they become a little bit different. So that's what spring makes me think of. Good morning, Miss Megan. So I have a little activity here my helper will help me with, and I'll try to make sure you can see the video. Let me put the book down. So I want to encourage you to, with an adult, go out in your neighborhood and explore. Good morning, Miss Alexa. Explore around, because that's what we've been doing the last couple days, because it's nice. So we've just been collecting some stuff that we see in the springtime. You're making the table shake. In the springtime around our neighborhood. So we collected some stuff, and we got some Play-Doh. So I'll try to show you this. Vivi pre-prepped it here for us. And we're gonna make impressions. So this is good for their fine motor skills. So we have some Play-Doh. And if you don't have Play-Doh at home, you could use paper, and we could do some rubbing. So we always collect old crayons and we save them instead of throwing them out, and you can use them for rubbing. So I'll show you that as well. So let me show you some of the stuff that spring brings to our neighborhood. And your stuff might be similar that you collect, which similar means a little bit the same, or it might be different because we all live in a different neighborhood, so there's different things. So some of the stuff we collected.
I just collected that
Okay, Vivi, you can come in. You can come over. Is a dandelion. So I had a dandelion yesterday ready to go, and a bunny came today and ate it. So I had to go find another dandelion because the bunny ate our dandelion. So here's a dandelion. We also collected, we found a pine cone. I bet you plenty of you have pine cones around your area. We found a piece of bark. Do you know what bark is? It comes off of the tree. It protects the tree. I have Play-Doh on my fingers too. And it's really bumpy and rough. Now some of this stuff might not work, but we'll try it because there's no wrong way to make impressions. These are flowers that bloomed on trees in our neighborhood that are floating all around on the ground. It looks like pink snow everywhere. It's really pretty. So we collected some flowers. We also, these look like seeds that fell off of a tree. We live near the beach, so there's also seaweed.
Oh.
And some seagrass that we found.
What about the bearded queen?
And then this is it. Okay, so we're gonna make some impressions. Here, I'll let Vivi do it. And I'm gonna turn this around real quick. Okay, right there. Okay, so here's our Play-Doh. What do you want to make an impression of?
Let's try a pine cone.
Let's try a pine cone. All right, so go ahead. Let's see what that looks like.
Whoa.
So there's an impression of a pine cone. Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It digs in.
Right, it digs in because it's kind of pointy on the sides. What else should we try?
How about we try the bark?
You want to try the bark? Okay.
Let's do it on that.
Let's see what that looks like.
Oh. Whoa, look how cool that is.
Can you see?
It's really hard to see.
It's hard to see, but it looks a little bit different than the pine cone. That's another impression we can make. Why don't we try a dandelion?
Yeah. Let's do it right here. Whoa.
Now, how did that come out? Because that's a lot softer than these. Did that work that good?
Nah.
Not too good?
Not too good.
How about try a seaweed?
Yeah. I'll try it on the same one.
Okay. And then we're going to show you a little bit of shading.
Ooh.
So this is good to get your kids
Look.
using their fine motor
That's really
muscles.
cool.
That's really cool how that came out, yeah. And you could do this with anything that you find around.
Whoa. Look at the sand.
There's sand everywhere. All right, let's do one more. We'll do shading. Vivi, pick one to put under. So when you shade, you want to put a piece of whatever you're shading. So what would we shade?
How about this?
Okay, the bark. Lay the bark down. Lay the paper over top of the bark. And you pick a crayon that you don't have any paper on.
I'll pick a dark one.
Okay. Pick a dark one so they can see. And then she's going to hold the paper and shade. It's hard for me to see. On the side like this.
Okay, I'll do that.
And just to see, and you can compare to see what looks the same and what's different and what worked and what didn't. I'm going to flip this back around. Thank you, Vivi. Okay. So there are really easy activities that you can do with whatever you find around your neighborhood. All things that remind us of spring in our neighborhood. And all of these things actually were growing at one time. So they were all living things that were growing, just like you. So I want you to think about that when you're going on your walks and looking for things. And yeah, just remember to make sure you're eating healthy so you grow nice and strong, and drink a lot of water. And that's it that we have for today. Don't forget to do your observations of your plants or the seeds that you planted so we can see them, even if you email us some pictures or post them here on our Facebook page. Because I can't wait to see what your sprouts and plants turn into. And if you missed any of our magical moments, we are on YouTube, so please check them out there. And I hope you get to enjoy the nice weather today, and we will be back to see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, bye.
Oh, I'm not talking about.